It was very common for the ancient Egyptians to bury mummified birds as offerings to gods including Horus, Ra or Thoth. In fact, the number of birds sacrificing prey and ibis buried with Egyptian mummies is thought to reach millions. But it is not yet clear whether birds were raised for this particular purpose, like cats, or caught in the wild. New research looks at the chemical composition of these birds, which were wild and unnamed and lived in the natural world before they were included. It brings the question, how did the ancient Egyptians catch all these birds? Whether these birds were bred industrially or largely hunted is highly debatable because they would have a significant impact on the economy of their supply and worship system, and if poached would indicate an environmental burden on the bird population, the researchers wrote in their published paper. It was these birds-eating habits that helped solve the mysterious appearance of these birds, the isotopic decoration of feathers, bones and embossed strips taken from 20 ibis and other bird mummies from the Musée des Associations in Lyon. In other words, you will be imprisoned. The researchers compared the oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, calcium, barium and strontium mixtures of the samples against human mummy remains from the same period, which turned out to be much less attractive. This suggests that birds of prey usually migrated out of the Nile Valley, while the ibis may have been a permanent native population, but sought to gather food around the valley rather than mummify the Egyptian people. Death was a big business in ancient Egypt, so were mummified animals. Most of their gods took the form of an animal, and cats and birds were considered to be representations of the gods on earth. Humans were preserved as mummies to attain the afterlife, and for many reasons animals were kept in the same style with them, offerings to the gods, food for the afterlife, and a way of sending loving pets to anything beyond death. The type of offering of the mummified bird is analyzed here. Based on the findings of archaeological excavations, it is thought that the animals were buried in their tens of thousands of places. As for the birds, the remains have been found at all stages of life, which has led to the notion that they were raised and somehow captured. This practice is also mentioned in some writings of the time. On the other hand, there is also evidence of ancient Egyptian paintings capturing birds in the wild, and in a 2019 study of mummified bird DNA it can be said that these are migratory birds that may have been subdued for a short time. This new study adds weight to the second hypothesis that birds were wild. It also suggests that the Egyptians must have an extensive hunting network to collect this prey and ibis by millions of birds.